Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial video in our SQL playlist. And for today, we're going to be discussing about SQL commands. Now, SQL commands are a really good breakdown of the different type of keywords you're going to use in SQL whenever you're writing SQL queries. And every keyword you're going to use falls under each of these four commands, okay? So anyone you're using at all, they're going to fall under one of the four I've listed. So I'm going to take you through the four of them and I'm going to give you a brief introduction. I'm going to tell you the types, that's the type, sorry, the keywords that are under these four parts of SQL commands. So just the database understanding, DML, DCL, DDL, and TCL, which I'm sure you've heard about, but you not really understand. So let's get into the video. Let's start with the DML commands. So the DML commands basically stand for data manipulation language, and it's kind of like a command that has a direct impact on the database. Okay, you as an end user, you that's using SQL to write queries to the database, you're going to probably use this a lot. Okay, and they can be recovered thanks to the command. So it's something that if you do a mistake, you can easily regain and get back. And for that, we have certain commands that are listed under that, which are the select, the insert, the update, and the delete. And if you watch our previous video where I explained select very well, select basically retrieves data from the database, right? And then insert adds new data to the table. Update modifies existing data. So like you already have something there, you want to update it. That's just what it's doing. And then delete, it removes that data from the table. And those are what the DML commands are for. They are usually to manipulate the database to change whatever we want inside of it. The second group is going to be the DDL commands, and the DDL commands are the data definition languages. So this one is used when you want to create the database. So it gives the database its structure, right? They are actually irreversible and difficult to undo. Now, I really like to really crack down on these parts. They are irreversible and difficult to undo. Trust me, you could create a table, you could drop a table, and you can never get it back. So you should really be careful when you're using these commands. And they use majorly by database administrator. Yes, they are, because as an end user, you might want to delete a table thinking that you're using the delete option. Meanwhile, you're typing in the drop and thinking it's going to do the same thing. Well, it's not going to do the same thing. When you drop a table, you have dropped everything and you cannot recover it. The commands under the DDL, the definition languages, that helps to give the database structure. They are the create, the alter, the drop, the truncate, the rename. So create is basically defining a new database object. So let's say create a table, create a view, create an index, and then the alter, you're modifying an already existing database object. So the alter is just like the updates, okay, quite similar, but then for the DML, that's the manipulation languages, they work on the data itself, while for the DDL, the definition languages, which we are on currently, they work on the database. So that's the difference. That's why you cannot undo them. Okay, let's say we have a group of tables, every table inside there is registered under the name of the bigger table, right? So whatever you're doing inside that table, you're going to use the DML. You're going to use select, insert, update, and delete, right? And it's just going to work on the tables. But if you're using the DDL on that same database, you're going to be using create, alter, drop, and you can't reverse it. I don't know why I have to really explain this, but you cannot reverse what you do. So please do not drop a database except you're being told to, except you realize that it's not needed, except you have been told that it's not needed. Really, I had an ugly experience with it and it was not nice at all. So I like to inform a lot of people when I meet them earlier and I'm teaching them SQL that don't ever do it. Now we have the truncate. The truncate removes all records from a table. So it resets the identity columns. So like everything is gone. It's gone. Drop and truncate are like the two worst enemies of SQL. So you have to stay away from them if you can. If you can't, still good, but try as much as possible to stay away from them. Then we got the rename. So it just basically changes the name of an object or a database object. So whatever we had created before, we want to change the name, we could use that to change the name. Then another part that you need to know is the DCL commands, which stands for the data control language. So basically, they authorize access to data and the limit they users to access data. Okay, so you know how like you as a worker you want to go and type in drop. I as the administrator, okay, I'm not an end user like you. I have more command over the system than you, who is probably going to use it only for work, right? So I'm going to grant you access. I will be like, from this particular section, I want to grant access to everybody that's going to come across this data in the company. I want to grant everybody that access, and then they're going to use it. But then if I want to revoke that access, I'll be like, from this certain point, I've revoked everybody's access to this database. Only I can gain access to it. And DCL commands is just to grant and revoke. The next command is the TCL command. This is the transaction control language, and basically all it does is to save, undo, and set the point. So commit means I'm going to save all the changes I've made during the current transaction. So let's say I'm starting to write a new block of code, but I'm working on company's data. And company's data is a really, really wide range of data that people have worked on 2-3 years, right? I don't want to change all what everybody have done. So I'm going to commit when I'm very sure that what I have written, the query I've written is good enough to keep. I'm going to commit it. I'm going to type commit and it's going to commit, okay? And then the rollback is to undo all the changes that I made recently. Like, I don't want to see that anymore. I just want to go back to the beginning from where I came in and start over again. And then save point, it sets a point within whatever we have done, which we can later roll back to. So say I've worked on this particular database 3-4 hours, but for the past 2 hours I've done good work. I've done work that could last for the next person to use, right? But then I'm not sure of the next step that I'm taking. Like, I'm not sure of the next set of queries I'm going to be writing. So I'm going to give a save point. I'm going to set a point in there which I can roll back to and undo everything till that point. And basically, that's all you need to know about the commands in SQL. So the DDL, the DML, the TCL, and the DCL are the four major blocks of languages you need to know when working with SQL. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like, please give this video a thumbs up and follow for more information about SQL. I'll send out a new video soon enough about the next part of this playlist, and I hope you're ready to watch it. So see you later.